Welcome back to Operation Freedom, folks. I'm Dr. Dave Janda, broadcasting from our ancillary bunker linked to our main Freedom Bunker in the People's Republic of Ann Arbor. We're here every Sunday for you from 2 to 5 Eastern, but it doesn't start and stop on Sundays from 2 to 5. We are available 24/7. The Freedom Beacon is always on for you at davejanda.com. Extra shows, extra content, extra analysis, extra guests, archives to all of our shows. We hope you'll become part of our Freedom family. Somebody was asking me this week about what has made this show successful now that we're in our 12th year. Many people, as I mentioned earlier in the show, thought that, well, this show might not last more than a month or two. Well, we've proven them all 110% wrong. And the reason is because main reason is you, our listeners. Another main reason is, well, our guests, best guests on the planet with the best analysis. And the reason it's the best analysis is because they all focus on your freedom and liberty. And, one of the benefits that has come out of this show are the parallel structures that have been developed through listeners and through patriots around our country that have been inspired through this show. Parallel structures that parallel what the globalists have created. However, what makes these parallel structures even better is they all focus on every American's freedom and liberty, as opposed to what the globalists do, which is try to gain more power and more control and more of their always valued in their own minds money. I mean, just look at the parallel structures we have created, whether it's through the Camino Company with their education for our listening audience and viewing audience of how to protect yourself financially with the use of precious metals, or Numano with the storable food and storable water, that there would be and will be supply chain issues, and here's a way to protect yourself. Or on the education front through Dr. Michael Rechtenwald and Dr. Robin McCutcheon with the establishment of AmericanScholars.com. Or with the alternative payment system. Many of our listeners run businesses, and some of them have actually had their businesses and their processing canceled, and we the people processing. So you don't have to go through PayPal or the standard credit card system, that a Stripe system that has been stripping patriots that provide products based on the freedom platforms, have been stripping them of the way in which they can get paid. We the people processing, again, developed out of our listening audience. Or whether it's WHAM itself, as we just mentioned with Theron. WHAM, it should be the rule in this country when it comes to terrestrial radio. It is the exception. It is the only station that truly focuses on freedom, where there is zero censorship. Or whether it's what we do at davejanda.com with our shows and our content and the information we provide for your freedom on so many different aspects. But there's also another side to this, and this is why I'm so honored to have with us today Sean Williams from PatriotSwitch.com. Little background on Sean. At the beginning of this year, after watching the devastation to the average American from COVID and the election results, he and his group realized that our country's future had become an all-hands-on-deck operation, and started looking for ways that they could all make an impact, a very positive impact for your freedoms and your liberties. And the more he and his team dug, the more they realized just how badly we have let these globalists take over every aspect of our society, and that something needed to be done. And that is how PatriotSwitch.com was born. In a nutshell, folks, Patriot Switch is about supporting small and medium-sized American businesses rather than the big box stores with their globalist ties. This is about empowering small and medium American businesses, not the globalist syndicate. patriotswitch.com. It's my honor to welcome Sean Williams. Sean, welcome to the Operation Freedom Show and platform.
Hey, Dave. It is awesome to be here. I am honored. Been a listener. I was trying to figure out if I could actually say it's a decade, and I think it has been.
Well, we've been around longer than most people had thought we would be around. So educate our listeners, Sean, about Patriot Switch.
Yeah, you did a great job with the lead up, but Patriot Switch was really born out of this nagging saying that kept running through my head of, I am not going to let my kids ask me, why didn't you fight for our freedom? And that one statement is what's driving this. I mean, I can survive whatever comes. Bring it. I'm okay. But man, we have got to get off the couch and start fighting for our kids. And that's really what it came down to. And then once you start digging, you realize there's a lot here. It's going to take all of us. And I mean, I tell people all the time, if you don't like what I'm doing, perfect. That means that you have a better idea. Go do it. That's what we all have to do right now, I think. So that's really what Patriot Switch was born out of. And it's really evolving into a platform where we can take businesses that love America and push them out to the masses that still love America. And there's a whole lot more than anyone wants to admit. Everyone's starting to see what's happening in our country, and plain and simple, not many of them agree with it. So
that's right.
Getting people on board, forget the left and the right. In fact, I've learned it from you, what you had heard from Reagan. This isn't about left and right. This is about freedom versus tyranny. And let's get everyone get engaged. Do something. There's so many areas. If you've got a passion, jump in.
Well, and as you have pointed out, Sean, that when we support these multinational corporations and these big box stores, we're supporting the globalist syndicate. We're taking our hard-earned dollars, we're turning it over to them, and they in turn are using a big chunk of those dollars and trying to strip us of our freedoms, of our liberties, of our futures, of our children's futures. And that's the power of, I believe, what you're doing with Patriot Switch, because it's redirecting those dollars from going into the pockets of the globalists and into the pockets of American small and medium-sized businesses.
Yeah, the small and medium businesses are the lifeblood, and we've let them choke it out, literally, especially over the last 2 years. And reinvigorating that, because they can't control it, is the key to all of this. The control is the problem here. It's not that I consider Walmart bad. It's not that I consider Target bad. They're not really calling the shots. We can go look at any of these, and I'll just say publicly traded companies that we call woke. They're all controlled by the same 3 or 4 hedge funds. Do the research, do the search. There's not many people that really control all this, and that's what we've allowed by demanding lower prices and demanding convenience. They can give it to us, but there's a cost.
So let's talk about how patriotswitch.com works. Educate our listeners. Give them a run through.
So when someone goes to Patriot Switch, most often they're like, come on, just give me the info. I want it. I get that. We all want it. We're taking a different path. I believe in most every area of our society, the culture kind of sucks. They have created isolation. They've created division everywhere they can. So we're just going the opposite way. So what's happening is when someone fills out the form, they're actually contacted by a fellow patriot, someone that just loves the country and wants to do something. And we're going to give you a brief overview of companies we're working with, their owners, why we chose them, give you a tour. If it's something you want to try out, perfect. Give it a try. What's the worst that happens? You shop somewhere else for a month or two, decide, you know what, it's not for me, I'll keep looking. All right, you tried. Most people don't. Most people love it. In fact, it's, huge retention rate because it's a company, our primary company, they actually care about their customers still. It's so rare in today's world, we don't even think that that's supposed to be normal anymore. But it is, if we force it.
Well, what I did is when I first became aware of Patriot Switch, I just went through the portal as anyone else would. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the website and filled out okay, I'm interested in helping small and medium-sized businesses that are American businesses that aren't going to support the globalist structure. And, and here's the interesting thing, Sean, in this day and age of voice mail and not having access to an individual when you call a business. One of the things we did when I was still working as an orthopedic surgeon and did so for 32 years, we actually had somebody answer the phone, right? They did go through this voicemail phone system heck, some that you feel like, well, I'm hitting all these buttons to go to this department or that department. I'm still not talking to anybody, a person. I don't know if anybody can is listening. I don't know if anybody's getting this message. So, but this is the thing that got me at first. When I contacted Patriot Switch, okay, I'm interested in helping small and medium-sized American businesses, I immediately got an email. And I immediately got an email from an individual who said, okay, I'd like to set up a time with you where we can go through the website and the ordering process and the like of, from these businesses. And I thought, wow, that's a pretty good AI system they have for doing that. But okay, I wonder if it's going to be one of these robocalls calling me about
yeah.
And it was so I said, I'm going to just set this time up. I'm going to see what's going to happen here. And I set the time up. And an actual person by the name of Glenn called me. Now, being Dave Janda and being kind of, a stickler on things, I decided, I'm going to, this Glenn guy, he's a nice guy. And he's talking to me about the thing. And throughout the thing, he's saying, well, you don't have to buy through these companies. You can keep, no, I want to hear. I decided I was going to see how long I could keep him on the phone before he said, Dave, you're bugging the living daylights out of me. You're asking me all these questions and you're taking all my time and I got other things I got to do. He never did that. Okay. I had him on the phone for over an hour. Trying to be, frankly, a pain. And Glenn was just, I don't know, he must be part saint or something, but he was very, and said, okay, and here you go. And, here's the things you need to look at. And if you want, so then I decided, okay, I'm going to order some stuff from these business. I'm going to see what happens here. I place an order and I'm telling you, Sean, within, 10 minutes, I got a confirmation of the order. And within 15 minutes, I got a confirmation of when it was going to be delivered. And I thought, Well, I purposefully decided, I mean, because there are a lot of different products this you can buy from all these businesses, but I took something that was related to food and something that was related to, laundry stuff, something that was related to medical stuff, something, from different things. Because I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to spread this thing around, see what happens. And I got confirmation you will have it in 48 hours. I'm like, there's no way. I mean, come on. And actually, it came and everything was there as I had ordered it, and it came within 36 hours.
Yep.
So educate our listeners about what type of products are available on patriotswitch.com and the like, because I'm telling you, I mean, it's like, I don't know how many, I don't know. I mean, in looking through things online, it was like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of entities you can buy.
Sure. So the primary manufacturer, and I'll be completely honest, our goal when we set out was we want companies that are established enough that if we send them volume, they can handle it. Because, man, I love small businesses, and we're building out a back end right now to handle that. And we have to support them. And I'm just going to say, support your local small businesses every chance you get right now. But there's a lot of stuff we can't get from them. And when we do, we're still buying it from Procter & Gamble and Johnson & Johnson and the likes. And, man, I mean, I don't even want to go into that story, but we may. But it's all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's the daily needs of life. And I think that's where we have to focus right now. Because with inflation ramping up, and I mean, like what General Mills just announced earlier this week, they're raising their prices by 20% in January.
Right.
That's not inflation. No. That's past inflation. So we've got to focus on the stuff of life that's made here from companies that aren't controlled, family-owned, privately owned, that love America. So the products that we have range all across the board in the consumer goods right now. That's what we're focused on. The stuff we buy and run out of our entire life, and our habit has been turn left into Walmart every Friday, and we hand them our money every week, and they're literally using it against us.
That's right. I mean, people that turn left into Walmart, or just sit in front of your computer and go to Amazon.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's right. And tell me that's not from whether it's Walmart or whether it's Amazon. Tell me that's not being used against American businesses.
Yep. As I said, it's a real simple search to find out who's controlling all this, and just search the company name with institutional investors, and it's always the same. And they all have the same agenda, because I believe they're forced to have the same agenda right now. There is a plan in place, whether you want to call it the Great Reset, the Build Back Better, whatever. It's in motion, and they've had to put it in hyperspeed for whatever reason. But now's the time that we just have to say, no, I'm not gonna participate.
So, folks, we're speaking with Sean Williams from PatriotSwitch.com. So, Sean, what are the most common questions you get when folks contact PatriotSwitch.com?
The most common questions that we get are, one, why can't you just give me a link? And that one we kind of went over, but we are not taking the route of the system that's been created for us, because that system is to protect them, not us. So we are connecting with patriots. We're bringing in, and everyone's like, well, that's not even efficient. Absolutely. You're right. Their system is more efficient right now, but it's also controlled by them. But to be able to get on the phone with a teacher or a nurse or someone that's lost their job due to these mandates, and they've decided to help us because they want to make a difference, And not only can you help your own family, but help them. What a win-win-win. And get great products. So that's the biggest question, is why can't you send a link? Plain and simple, because we believe society and culture today is backwards, and we're not going to participate. We're going to go a different route. We're going to connect. How many mental health issues have skyrocketed the last 2 years from all the isolation? If we can be a little part in helping, just, hey, you're not alone out there. Even if it's just the hour conversation like you had with Glenn, that can help somebody. And it does. Boy, I mean, I could tell you story after story. It's awesome. We love it.
Yeah, it's the it's like going to a small country store dealing with patriotswitch.com versus going to Walmart, right?
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
Good luck trying to find somebody to help you. And when it comes to the products in a Walmart, pretty much they're coming from China. Yep. As opposed to, local country store, the odds are you're going to find items that you might find some items that are from China or from wherever, but for the most part, you're going to find locally produced items.
Yep. They understand, and that's our core focus. We have got to focus with this manipulated supply chain. We have got to focus on things that aren't requiring to be shipped over from China, India, you name it, wherever. We have got to focus as patriots for our own communities on what can I do to source goods inside the United States.
And that's another important point about patriotswitch.com and the companies you deal with. Obviously, as we mentioned, they're domestically based, so we don't have to worry about ships not being able to dock in the port of Los Angeles or San Francisco and the like. But the fact that Patriot Switch and with the companies they deal with, their supply chains internally within our own country are really quite strong and secure, aren't they?
Absolutely. Very strong and secure. And it's amazing the insight you can gather as a business owner and when you're not listening to the mainstream news. Because you can see things coming. When you live in the real world versus what the news is telling you, you can see things and prepare for things. You can't tell the future, but stuff is going on and you can prepare for it.
Well, Sean, I'd like to thank you and everyone at patriotswitch.com for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. Folks, I encourage you to go to patriotswitch.com. You're listening to Operation Freedom. I'm Dr. Dave Janda, broadcasting from our ancillary bunker linked to our main freedom bunker in the People's Republic of Ann Arbor.